Hi, I'm Adam. This video is part of a free course to help you understand your audience and increase your sales. Get it now free at funnelcandy.com/research. All right, let's dive in. Email surveys. Now, chances are you've gotten emails like this. How did our customer service specialist do? Or this one. Got 2 minutes? Tell us about your recent experience for a chance to win a $1,000 gift card. Or how about this one? How likely are you to recommend us to a friend, relative, or colleague? Or how about this one? Fill out this 10-minute survey to be eligible to win a $500 Amazon gift card. So why do companies send all of these? Well, to better understand their audience. And they want to use those insights, both from their prospects and their customers, to build better products, to increase their brand loyalty, and ultimately help them increase their sales. Email surveys are one of the most powerful ways that you can understand your audience and structure better products and services around them. Here's how the process works. First, you want to segment your prospects, your customers, and churn. Churn are people who have become a customer, but then ultimately canceled. Also, if you offer a free trial and people go through that process, but then they don't sign up, you want to segment that as well. So you may have 2 segments, your prospects and your customers. You may have 3, your prospects, your customers, and people who have canceled. Or you may also have 4, your prospects, your customers, people who have canceled, and people who signed up for a free trial but never purchased. By segmenting that data, it's going to make it that much easier for you to understand these different groups, why some of them decided to buy, why some of them didn't decide to buy, and why some bought but then ultimately canceled. Once you have your segments in place, you can then send them an email with an incentive. For example, a $25 Amazon gift card, not your own product. You might be wondering, well, why wouldn't I just offer my own product? Remember, these are people that you want honest feedback about your product or your service. And if somebody has already said they didn't want your product, they're not going to be interested in filling out a survey to get more of your product. So you're not going to be able to target those customers that have already canceled or those people that decided not to buy. Secondly, it's also a way to introduce some bias. If you're giving somebody a product for free, then they're already starting to value it a bit more, and they're going to be less likely to give you the honest truth. And this is super important because you want that brutal honesty, the type that brings a tear to your eyes. So make sure that the incentive is something different, and it could be a gift card or any other type of product that isn't related to yours. You'll also want to include a link to the survey, and that's going to capture the responses into a spreadsheet. To create the survey, you can use whatever tool you want. Here's an example of one in Google Forms, but if you prefer to use something like Typeform or even Airtable, you certainly can, whatever works for you. So how does an email survey work? Here's some common questions that we had over the years when we were consultants. How many responses do I need? Well, ideally, you would have 200 to 300 responses, but even if you have like 5 responses, that's still going to be incredibly valuable feedback. But I would set the ceiling at 300. Once you get over 300 responses, it's basically diminishing returns. You've learned everything that you can. So if you have a huge database, just aim for 300 responses. You may also be wondering, should I require a name and email for these responses? That's entirely up to you. If you wanted to follow up with people directly based on their feedback, then by all means, ask for the email address. Or if you prefer to keep it anonymous, you can do that too. Of course, remember that in this case, if you are getting the name and the email address, you're getting people's personal info. So you want to be very careful what you do with that. Another one is, how many questions can I ask? We'd suggest anywhere from 10 to 15 questions. That's enough that people can get through it, but it also gives you a wide variety of questions that you can ask. Here are a bunch of questions that can help you in your email survey. You don't have to include them all in your survey. In fact, we'd recommend not doing that. But some of them will be much more relevant to you based on your offer. Some great questions to ask include, where did you first hear about us? Did you look at any other solutions? If so, which ones? And what made you choose us over them? What's the one thing that almost stopped you from buying? What information is missing or would make your decision to buy easier? What's your biggest fear or concern about buying? What other products or services would you like to see us offer? Which is a great way to start building new products and services to increase your lifetime value. What stopped you from continuing after your free trial? This is a great way for you to target people who signed up but ultimately didn't buy. And I hope you can see now why we would want to segment the surveys by prospects, customers, people on free trials, and people who ultimately canceled. You can start to ask questions like this to really understand each pain point along the way. You also want to ask, what are your 3 favorite things about our product or service? What are 3 things that we should improve? What's the one thing that our product is missing? Or what's the one feature we could add to make this invaluable to you? What's the main reason that you're canceling today? And how satisfied are you with our support? What results have you seen with our product? What was life like before you started? And what was it like afterwards? And lastly, let's play a game. You're describing our solution to a friend. What would you say? Now, this is a dynamite one because it tells you the entire thought process that somebody has. These people are basically acting like your salespeople, your sales team. Now, what you can do with these last 2 questions is you can turn them into testimonials and put them onto your site, which is a good reason to ask for people's names and email. You can follow up and ask them if they're okay with you presenting this information. So to quickly recap, the way an email survey works is you want to agree on what segments you're going to survey. Again, we've covered 4 of them. Depending on your business, you may only have 1 or 2, but those are prospects, customers, people who purchased and then canceled, and people who signed up for a free trial but never paid. Once you have your segments in place, you want to agree on an incentive that you could send to each of them. Once you've chosen your incentive, you can then send an email out to these various segments, asking them to take the survey and that they would be entered into a drawing where a winner would be chosen. That's a key thing to point out here, that the incentive that you've agreed on, you only have to pick a winner for that incentive. So if it's a $100 Amazon gift card, only one winner would get that. So you'd only have to spend $100 on the gift card. You don't have to give everybody $100 for filling out the survey. The email survey goes out, and then usually it takes about a week for all of those people to get the email, click the email, and then go ahead and enter their information. After that week is over, you can go ahead and send out the incentive to the winner, which you can just choose at random. After this week, you're going to have a ton of information from those survey responses. And we're going to show you how to analyze all of that in an upcoming lesson so you can add it to your research document. But for now, just think about the segments that you have, think about the questions you want to ask them, and think about the incentive that you want to offer. You can put all of that together, send out the email with a link to the survey so people can fill it out. And then once you've sent that email, you can watch the results start to come in. Thanks for listening. This video is part of a free course on how to understand your audience and increase your sales. You can get the full course for free at funnelcandy.com/research. See you there.